Hi, my name is Gary Cocke. I'm our Director of Sustainability at UTD. I'm working remotely, spending a little time with my family during the pandemic, and I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with getting rooftop solar. I get a lot of questions on that. Hopefully I can answer a lot of those here. So I have a 6.4 kilowatt system on my roof. I have 20 320 watt LG panels, 13 of which are on my south facing roof face, 7 on my west facing roof face. And between all of them, the goal is to go for net zero. So that means that over the course of a year, hopefully I produce as much energy as I use. I'm about 1 year in, and since the home was kind of new, I didn't have historical usage data. So we'll see how close we get over the course of year one. I was able to do net metering through my utility. That means that I overproduce in the fall, winter, and spring, and I'm able to sell energy back to my utility, and I get about half what I pay for my energy, but it means that I have no electric bill or close to no electric bill, and I get a credit on my trash and water bills in exchange for overproducing electricity. And then in the summer, I have higher production, but my usage is much higher due to my HVAC. And so during those months, it helps to just reduce the bill that I do receive from my utility. Now, I learned a few things throughout this process with getting rooftop solar. I had been hearing that it was becoming pretty feasible, pretty financially viable. And so I went and I started getting quotes in May of 2019. I got some quotes, and I found a provider that I really liked. All of the quotes were free, so you may as well go out there and see if it makes sense for you. Then I needed to get HOA approval. It took about 30 days for my HOA to turn around that approval. I learned in the process that HOAs are really pretty limited in what they can say. So if they were going to either reject the design or if they were going to propose amendments, then they would need to, if they were going to decrease my performance by 10% or more, then it wouldn't be viable. So I got no feedback from my HOA other than their approval. After that, I needed to get approval from my utility. That was the one that took a while, and I was just kind of working according to their schedule. So they ultimately gave me approval with no hassle other than it just taking a while. So by August of 2019, I had my system up and running and providing energy for me. Pretty easy. It was a turnkey process, so although it took a while and there are hoops to jump through, I used a company that did all of the paperwork for me, and it was just a waiting game from my perspective. Now, regarding the finances, that was the key issue. It needs to make financial sense. So there was a 30% federal rebate that I was able to take advantage of in 2019. In 2020, that is a 28% federal rebate. It comes back to you on your annual income taxes. And then you should check with your utility. I was able to take advantage of a utility rebate that was 60 cents per watt. So since I have a 6.4 kilowatt system, that means I got almost $4,000 of rebate from my utility. So all things considered, it was about a $20,000 investment that I was able to pay for with about $8,000 of rebates. And then I could do a low interest loan to finance the remaining $12,000. So when you take into account the monthly payments that you pay for the solar panels and then the value of the energy that they're producing, I don't think it's quite revenue neutral, but it's close to revenue neutral. So for me, the calculus that I did was that if it's a relatively manageable cost for me to go 100% renewable with rooftop solar, I did that. If you're a bit more cost conscious, if I had chosen a 70% system, so I was offsetting 70% of my energy use, at that point I never overproduce energy, but I get essentially the market value for every kilowatt hour that I produce, it becomes even more financially advantageous for you to do it. There's lots of providers out there. Quotes are free. It's easy to do. It's fairly turnkey. Those are the lessons that I've learned. If you're interested, I recommend go out there and get a quote. Thank y'all and have a good day.